All right. Hi, everybody. Marcell Niederhauser here. I'm going to take a few minutes and just tell you a little bit about me. And here's what I want to start with. I'm going to write some numbers on the board. All right. Okay. When I was 28 years old, I was introduced to network marketing. Now, I had never heard of it, and I didn't know what the company's names were. I'd never heard of Amway. And it took me 12 years to make $11,000 a month. So it took me a little while to figure it out. So at age 40, I was able to sell my company I'd owned for 18 years, and I'm age 54 now, so 14 years, I have been a full-time dad, helping my wife raise my kids, which was something that I was very passionate about. And the best part about it is, I haven't had a traditional so-called job. I have not had anybody tell me what to do, pretty much ever. But that's why I got involved in this industry. I did not want to have to work for somebody if I didn't have to. Now, I've had jobs, you guys, and I don't mind working hard. But I want to start with my story back here. Prior to that, I went to college. I went to St. George, down there to school. I went to Utah Technical College, and then I ended up in Cache Valley, Logan, Utah, going to Utah State. And I ended up with a bachelor's degree in environmental engineering. And I'd probably still be in school today if it wasn't for this industry. We were introduced at 28. We got involved, and it was very exciting to me. When I was sitting there, I was shown this concept of residual income, and it lit me up. And then I went to school the next day and I got my first lesson in network marketing. I'm the only one in the world that's never heard of it, and nobody else wanted anything to do with it. But because of my personality the way I was, I'd sat down and gotten information from some people that I trusted, and it made sense to me. And they laid out, I remember when he drew the circles out, he did a 6-4-2 structure. So you get 6, they get 4, they get 2. And he said, in 2 to 5 years, if you do that, you'll never have to worry about money again. And I remember looking at him saying, if you're lying to me, I will kill you. And that's how I got started. Then I had the experience the next day, and then I went on my journey. It literally took me 8 months to sponsor my first person. And, you know, it was a little bit discouraging. And so some of you out there, I know how you feel. And, but I wanted it so bad, it was worth me to go through the pain, because I had to change. And there's so many things about this industry that I had a lot of fear. One of them was public speaking. I actually had some classes where I had to speak in class. I didn't go to school that day. I missed it. I don't know why it scared me so bad, but it did. But what happened is during those 8 months, I'd get beat up. I got told all kinds of things. I got told that I'm not going to have any friends left. I'm going to have soap in my basement, and they called me Soapy. I had all kinds of nicknames. And over that period of 8 months, I'd go to a function every day. So 29 days out of the month, I'd get beat up. I'd get told all these things. And then one day out of the month, I'd go to this place where all these people were positive. They were all excited. They told me they believed in me. They told me I could do it. They told me how awesome I was. And it took me 8 months to believe them. Finally, when I got to the point where I believed them, I started sponsoring people, getting them into business. We grew really fast. I was making $2,000 a month just like that 4 months later. And it was exciting. But the hard part was those 8 months and getting that rejection. And so what I want to say too is this 12-year period right here, what do you think I learned? What I think I learned in this 12 years to where all of a sudden at age 40, I was able to sell a landscaping business that I'd owned for 18 years. I built it from scratch for 18 years. What do you think I learned? I learned what not to do. I learned basic principles and behaviors that have allowed me to have financial freedom for the last 14 years. And so what are those principles and behaviors? They're exposing information 15 times or more a month. They're attending any kind of training that will teach you about this industry or about LifeVantage or about this company. It's always doing what you say you're going to do. It's staying in control of your business, and it's learning how to promote effectively. Now, why would that be so important? Because those things right there will allow you to find other people like you and I that want something better in life. And I've exercised that, and I've watched that happen. I know for a fact that that works if people consistently do it for a 2 to 5 year period of time. And consistently means you do it every month until it's done. And so that's my experience. And so now for the last 14 years, I lived a unique lifestyle, you guys. Tyler and I have the largest network marketing business in LifeVantage. We do about 70 to 75% of the company's volume. We're the fastest growing distributorship, the highest paid distributorship in the company. And it all bases back, I started 26 years ago and figured this out. Now, what I'm proud about, you guys, in my story is I've been able to help hundreds of families become full-time moms and dads. And what I mean by that is I've played a role in their lives of helping them with the principles, believing in them, doing meetings for them, doing follow-ups, doing trainings, doing Zooms, everything you can think of. Every month I do 15 or more helping other people. So as I went through college and I got my engineering degree and didn't want to work for somebody else, I remember going down to Tucson to what was my first called family reunion. It was a big major event. And my story has to go back when I was 28 in Amway, because that's where I was learning how to do the business. Once you learn how to do this, you don't have to relearn it. So for me to relate to all of you that are brand new, I have to go back that far. And I remember going to that function the very first time. Then I remember going to Tucson to do an internship. And I remember for my first time, I'd been in the business for 5 or 6 months, and I always had somebody else doing my meetings. I was dragging people into their office. When I ended up in Tucson, I was on my own. And I remember down there, this was life-changing for me. I remember down there, I started talking to these guys I was working with, and I got this one guy really excited. And on Saturday, I was going over to enroll him into the business. And just an hour before I was going over there, he called me up and canceled on me. He said, I can't do it. I hung up the phone, and lucky for me, I was listening to an audio tape. And on the tape, there was a guy, a tape, I'm kind of old. But on the tape, there was a gentleman on there speaking about that same scenario. And he put an idea into my head. And what it was is, God, that guy was really excited the night before what had happened. So he said, call him up on the phone and say, hey, I know you're not interested. That's okay, but can I ask you a question? And so I did that. And what I found out is the guy decided he couldn't get involved because he wanted to get his mom and dad involved, and they were on a retirement budget getting Social Security, and they couldn't make any more money, so he thought he couldn't do it. I got over that obstacle so fast, I went over and I signed him up. Now, that was lesson number 1 for me. I actually enrolled somebody on my own. And then over the period of the next couple of weeks, him and I went and done some meetings, and we sat down with another engineer, and we enrolled him. And I still remember today doing the meeting. My hand was shaking when I was drawing it out. I was scared to death, but he enrolled. Now, I came home from Tucson. I never saw those two ever again. I've never had contact with them. I don't know anything that happened to them. But what happened to me is I now knew I could build this business, because if you know how to sponsor one person, you know how to do it again. If you know how to help them sponsor somebody, you can do that again. And then you can build a dynasty. And over all the course of all this time and all these years that I put in, once I did as I just went through and I started sponsoring people into the business. I started giving them information, offering to help them. And through that, by sponsoring lots of people, I found a small percentage of people that wanted to make a difference out of their life, and I went and I worked with them. And I've helped them and I've worked with them. The other ones, they use the product, they're happy, we're friends. I still have all my friends. And I just didn't put pressure on people that didn't want to do it. See, what I found in all my experiences, when you're building these businesses as a business and not a hobby, people will come into your life for 2 reasons. They're either going to build it, or they're going to lead you to the person that's going to build it. And I have figured out through my skill sets and through these behaviors and principles how to do that. and I can find people that want to do what I'm doing. And once you learn that, we teach it. Once you learn that, you can build a dynasty. Any company you're in, it works, because I've applied those techniques in other companies, and I've had a lot of success. And so I just wanted to give you a little background on me. Like I said, I've been doing this for 26 years. For the last 14, I've been a full-time dad. That's one of my highest accomplishments that I've ever done in my life. I got 5 kids, you guys. And when I came home from work, my 2 boys were 13 and 9, and my daughter was like 15. And then I got 2 little girls. They were just babies. I got 2 babies that are 18 and 16 now that have never known their dad to have a job. And we've been totally present. Lisa and I spend every ounce of our time investing into these kids, chasing them around sports. Every sport that can be played, my kids have played it, and they've been very successful in everything they've done. And so I appreciate the decisions I made early on, the price that I paid to make it all come to fruition, and the fact that I have a residual check that comes in on the 15th of every month. It has gave me choices in my life that I never dreamed of. It's allowed me to live on this earth along with everybody else, and I get to make decisions differently. I get to do things that others don't. And one thing that excites me too, when I want something, I just pay cash for it. That's awesome. I'm my own bank. And what I found for several decades is that when people do the 45-year plan, that's linear income, they'll work for 45 years of their life, and 95% of them will find out that they have to continue to work because they didn't put enough money away. And in this business, in 2 to 5 years, we can help you build an asset, a retirement asset in 2 to 5 years that will allow you to retire when you reach age 65. So you got to do your part, and we're going to teach you all about that. But I just wanted to share those few thoughts with you and just give you a little background on me. I'm really excited about the future. We're poised to be the next billion-dollar company, and right now we are all working very hard to help bring in the 920,000 people that need to come in before we become a billion-dollar company, and we're going to help hundreds of thousands of more people become full-time moms and dads if that's what they want. So anyway, I appreciate your time today. It's just been awesome to be able to spend that with you. I appreciate you. You guys have a good day.